RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Hello, what is happening? Yes, hello, my name is Tara Devlin. This is Tarabuster, unapologetic liberal talk. We meet here every time I feel like it. Really, it's at night usually now. Let's see. It sucks. I wish I had a regular schedule during the week, but we really don't. So we have to play it by ear. And, but we do have a Saturday evening show that usually records at 6 p.m. Eastern here at the Tarabuster Facebook page and YouTube channel. And we are rebroadcast on Progressive Voices and SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, all those places. Please give the show a good review on iTunes and tell your friends. Keep coming back. It works if you work it, so work it. You're worth it. Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. These are all the things you have to do, besides everything else that you have to do. Living in the United States of serfs and lords. It's goddamn tedious, but that's why we need the real liberal media, and this is it. I have to say, yes, you're looking at it, but it is a community experience. So come on over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Tarabuster. Wait, hold on. Which is it? YouTube. Yeah, just Tarabuster. I'm forgetting my own show. And yeah, youtube.com//RD. No, see, fuck, shit. Because you know what happened? If you're new, Facebook shut down our Facebook page, the RDT Daily Facebook page. It's still shut down. So one of the other admins on the page is trying to get it reopened. It's been a while now. How long has it been? It's definitely over a week. Time has no concept to me. I don't know what year. What year is this? Where am I? Who am I? I'm not ready to go into the light yet, but let's hope. I don't know. I hope before I leave this planet, I do hope to see the country become a more perfect union. I practice Buddhism. Okay, I mean, my mother was a nun. My father was a garbage man. What else was I gonna be, right? But in Buddhist, so I practice with the SGI, which is a lay Buddhist organization. So there's no priests, which is basically, I feel, a good thing. Of course, no priests, none of the bull of somebody having the keys to your enlightenment or anything. And it's really it's a humanist philosophy about action and blah blah blah. You know, blah blah blah. I don't mean to proselytize, but when I get really down on this country, because as you know, when watching the show and all, I'm always like, why did my grandmother come here from Ireland? I would be living in Ireland right now, sitting on a cliff, probably looking out into the sea, thanking my whatever stars that I was born in a country that has health care, at least, right? But then I have to think, as a Buddhist, when I get really mad about everything, I don't know. I mean, who the hell knows? I won't know until I'm dead, and then I may not know. So we really don't know what's happening. But I do know that there's more to Earth. There's more to life than meets the eye. That's basically my philosophy. We don't have all the answers. So, but anyway, life is just it's so vast. We don't even have the language to ask the questions. Do you know what I mean? But the point is, in Buddhist philosophy, you pick your life, so to speak. You pick your challenges. And when I get very down on this country, I think, well, I picked it because why? Because I'm supposed to do something. I'm supposed to stand up. I'm supposed to use my platform here, for example, to try and advocate for a more perfect union. And I hope we're making a difference. I think we are. I know that we need to grow and get more ears and eyeballs, only because what we talk about, the unapologetic liberal solution, it's nothing more than it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's things that FDR advocated for. This is what we're talking about. But we're talking about creating a country that works for all. And isn't that the point? What is the meaning of life when it comes down to it? That we want to have a decent life. And we have to share we share this blip of time together. So I believe that we leave no one behind. This is how we're going to work, how we will fix this country. We don't even leave behind the morons. You know what I mean? Because the morons... Okay, let's get into the morons. I don't know why I started talking about that, but probably because I'm thinking in my mind when I started to think how this country sucks. Because I do think that a lot. And then, why don't you leave it? You don't love it, leave it. I was born here, right? So I have an obligation. I wore the uniform of this damn country. We all have an obligation to each other and my family and the people who will come after me. Yeah, why do I leave? I don't know. Why don't you make me? I mean, I guess if the conservatives put together a GoFundMe page and like hundreds of thousands of dollars for me to move, I might think about it. But anyway, whatever. I have conflicted feelings, as you can tell. A lot of this is also, it's kind of therapy. We call the show not only unapologetic liberal talk, but therapy for the resistance. It's really my therapy. That's what it feels like. Even though I have therapy. I've had a lot of therapy in my life, and thank God for it. Or, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. It's God, so to speak. You know. Guys, yes, hello. Thank you, Errol Thomas, for your super chat. Republicans will always be Republic clowns and it's very hard to say. Republic turds. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat. And thank you, JD, for your super chat in pounds. And thank you for saying you say what needs to be said. Oh, man, thank you, Robyn, for your super chat. What does that say? Something about one? I can't read. It's too small. My eyes are not that good. Something one. I can't read that. All right, guys. What was I saying? All right, yeah, I don't know. That's why we're here. We're in this together. It doesn't get depressing though. But the thing is, when you see all the morons, and there are a lot of them, it's almost not their fault all the way. Of course, it's the race. It's their fault. It is their fault. But they were brought up wrong. I guess their mothers didn't raise them right, and they weren't smart enough to break free for themselves. But they also have the leadership of the Republican Party is blatantly lying to them. So that's a big problem. And it's not going away. As we're going to witness tomorrow is the second impeachment trial of the con man. He's a con man. Hello. They could get rid of him. You see, this is the perfect opportunity. They had an opportunity before. They could have done it before. They could have all gotten together and said, let's, like we say, we stick together, we win. Yes. They could have all stuck together and eliminated their con man, legally and peacefully, of course. They have another chance to do it. And they have a chance to ensure that he'll never run for office again. That's like a dream come true. He's off Twitter. He's off Facebook. He's been deplatformed. So what are you afraid of? His tweet? He doesn't tweet anymore. He's been neutered. He still has the right, of course, to go stand on the street corner and scream into the wind like any nut job. But he can go on to QAnon. He can go on Reddit, I suppose. But the Republicans, they know who he is. But they're not doing this country any favor. They're, yet again, proving me right again. I wish I was wrong when I say, because I've been saying it for years, that the Republicans are the domestic enemies the founders warned us about. I wish I was wrong about that. But here we go again. They literally incited treason against, they've been committing treason as an electoral strategy for years, for decades, for my entire life. Here's the music, but I'm not stopping. Hold on, wait. I only put the music up. You know why. Because I'm trying to keep my shows to a reasonable length. Because I don't think that I don't know how many people listen when the show goes into 4 hours. And I need my beauty rest, as you can tell. I certainly do. But it's also, is it too much of a good thing? I don't know. I'm trying to find the right, trying to find that, whatever. It's all a work in progress. So become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin, and you can get in on the ground floor. Of what? I have no idea. We're working it out as we go. Of the real liberal media, I guess. That's it. And I have to say thank you all for all your support. And everybody who's... wait, hold on a second. I should have got this Facebook page. Because somebody sent me a message on Facebook. I'm trying to... I don't remember her name off the top of my head now. Lynn? Saying that I should not say that and 100% right. That it's not good. It's insulting when I say that the show sucks. Like sometimes I'll say, does this show suck? Do I suck? But I should keep that to myself because that's the stuff I should share with my shrink. This is, you guys know I'm in recovery. It's one day at a time. And sometimes my stinking thinking gets the better of me. And I say things out loud. But, that I should probably keep to myself because I get self-conscious. Lynn, L-I-N. I was right. Lynn. Thank you, Lynn, for your message. Lynn said, Tara, when you keep saying your show sucks, it really is an insult to the people who are listening to you. They are listening to a sucky show, so they must be idiots. Not a great message. Get a grip, please. I agree. When I saw that, I was like, oh, wow, that's not nice. Not Lynn, but me to say that. That's true. She's 100% correct. And so I wrote back, yes, you're 10,000% correct. I hadn't looked at it from that perspective. I definitely need to get a grip, and I most sincerely apologize. So thank you for keeping it real. I needed that. Thank you, and thank you all for keeping it real. And Lynn wrote back, love you, by the way, Tara. Thank you. I needed that, too. My son and I have 7 rescued kitties and a big enough house with a catio, which is a safe outdoor enclosure to hold us all. Hang in there. So, and I wrote back, that sounds like a dream home to me. I wish I had a catio. I just have these cats in this house, and they're kind of getting on my nerves. I love them all, but they're not getting along. All of them. It's Ray is our rescue cat. We just got. He just came. You guys know. I rescued him off the streets, but there's an adjustment going on, and I just can't listen to them hissing at each other. And I've got that Jackson Galaxy stuff, Peacemaker. I gave them. There's some stuff to put on their fur, so they're supposed to smell it and calm them down. And then if you go on Discord. I bought Tara Jr. a Thunder shirt, which he hated. I thought maybe that would make him feel safe. Oh, God, everybody. Can't we all just get along, right? Jesus, Mary and Joseph. All right. Thank you. Yes, I needed that tough love. Thank you, Lynn. It's good, because this is how... I will be, I don't know, grow. Not just me. I guess it is me, really. Who else is growing here? I need to stop that bullshit think. It's really not good. It's poison to the mind. I have to tell you, like, for years, I was really self-critical, and like everything that I said about myself, I would always put myself down as a joke, so-called. It was always knocking myself. But then when I got into recovery and I had more therapy, I came to the realization through all of that work that is poison to the mind and the soul. That your mind doesn't, and your soul and your heart doesn't know the difference between something that you say in jest or something that is true. So when you're like, I suck, it's soul killing. So, and it's just not good. So I have to, and honestly, the reason I was a drug addict to begin with was because I don't want to feel like shit. You know what I mean? I don't. Who does? I now have to have different coping mechanisms, of course. And that's why I don't do drugs, because that's the irony of drugs. You think, or alcoholism or whatever, even though it runs in my family and all that. But you think that you're giving yourself some kind of solace or self-soothing, but it really is every time that you use, you're getting further and further away from that sense of serenity that you're seeking. So that's the lie. But anyway, yes, and that's why they call it work. Recovery is work. Life is work. Therapy is work. Change is work. But it's also an action. So sitting here and saying, or standing here, as the case may be, and saying, "Oh, this sucks," meaning it's because I'm feeling self-conscious, but that doesn't help. It actually is not good, and it also doesn't feel good, because I love the show. I do. It gives my life a purpose, a meaning. I feel like we're doing something, we're making a difference, we're making a dent in things, and we are. There's no coincidences. When I heard on the corporate media, I can't remember which, it was a Democratic representative talking about leaving no one behind. And that's not an accident. We start talking about it here. It may not be that this Democratic representative watched this show in particular, but somebody says it, you say it, we say it in our lives, and it gets out there. And then it becomes just part of the American lexicon, our zeitgeist. We don't leave people behind. That's what it means to be a patriot. Leaving no one behind. That's why, I want to talk about the impeachment, but just because we're on the subject, I'm going to switch gears just for a second, because they're, of course, the Republicans, they are trying to do what they always do. They don't give a shit about this country, as we can see, as clearly as we can see, as we will see more tomorrow. As Joe Biden, thankfully, he seems to be not falling for the same old shit that Obama fell for, where trying in the spirit of bipartisanship to give the Republicans some kind of ownership in the recovery package, with the understanding or the hope that they would stop being the anti-American agents of oligarchy that they are. Well, that's like asking a fish not to swim, or asking a fish to fly. It's not going to happen. So Joe Biden, perhaps he learned from that experience and he said openly that our problem, or he worries more about that we will do too little. You can't do too much to try and stop the bleeding in this country from the Trump virus, from the Trump economic disparity and the Trump economic immobility, the income disparity, the everything that sucks in this country, brought to us by right-wingers who don't want a democracy. That's the bottom line. They don't want to, and this is one thing I think, I hope that Joe Biden in the behind closed doors, they talk openly about. You can't be that naive about this. Republicans don't have an interest in democracy. They don't care. Clearly. They're not trying to they're not trying to reach across the aisle. But whatever, they're not trying. Just like the Democrats, this is the same old crap that goes on. I'm old enough to remember the last time they crashed the economy and a Democrat was elected with the most votes. Ironically, and how odd. And then we have to clean up the messes of the Republicans. And what do the Republicans say on the night of Obama's inauguration? We know the caucus room conspiracy, where they they conspired to block any help that Obama was going to give the American people, or try to help dig us out of the second near Republican Great Depression in 100 years. Now we're on the third. And so that's how evil they are. And that's the word. When you deliberately conspire to cause pain to your fellow Americans, so it will suit you politically, so it might get you reelected. You'll make Obama a one-term president. That's what you care about. Not that you're gonna get together and build coalitions and reach across and be bipartisan, which I can't. If I never hear that word again, I'm gonna. I think I will be a happy person if I never hear the word bipartisan again, because I don't care about bipartisan. Nobody does, frankly. And one heartening thing, and I'm glad to say it, because you guys know I wasn't for Biden. I'm for Bernie. I was for Bernie, but of course I voted for Biden. But it's good to hear him say and hear Jen Psaki say that when he's talking about unity, he's talking about unifying with the American people, not necessarily with the Republican Party. That's brilliant, of course. When the American people want to be helped in this pandemic, and you got these obstructionist, fascist bastards, these insurrectionist, lying, big lie, con men enabling bastard. It's all the words trying to come out of my mouth at once. Standing in the way. And now they're crying. See, their goal, make no mistake, it's not a recovery package. It is a rescue package. It's not a stimulus package. It's a rescue package. Their goal with the rescue package is to ensure that it sucks. That's it. That's why they want to means test it. Now we're talking about means testing the rescue package. Because, here's the thing. Here, let me find this article. Means test, because they're going down and down. First $75,000, then they want to get down to $50,000. And of course, these right-wing Democrats, this Joe Manchin asshole, he doesn't want $15 minimum wage in the rescue package because, he only has one of the shittiest states in the union with the most poverty. So how do people vote for these people? Really? How? But this is why I ask you and I remind you incessantly to support the liberal media, because the reason the liberal media is so necessary is because this is why the American people are so duped and divided and at each other's throats. It is because of the media, because of the Republican media. They did this. They spread this. They're peddling unity, to this fake unity, to kneecap Biden. So wait, hold on. I'm trying to find this article. Where is it? It's in the... Oh, what's that? Means test. I'm looking for means testing risk. I forget. You know how it is when I try to find articles, and then during the show, of course, I can't find them. So. Oh, wait. What is that? Means test. What's that? Oh, yeah, Forbes. That's where it was, I think. Means test. Why can't I find this article? It's so weird. Hold on a second. Guys, talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Because I'll try to talk while I'm typing here. Here we go. I found it. No, it's not Forbes. That's why I couldn't find it. They're trying to say that... Okay, here's the thing. This is why I say everybody in, nobody out. Because they have so divided this country. Americans... Hold on. And they have so divided us that, according to... I think it was Forbes magazine. That's why I'm getting confused here. They said 60% of the American people want the rescue package to be targeted. They don't want it to go to people who don't need it. Like, this should be our primary concern. Whether so you got to remember where we live, guys. We live in the least upwardly mobile country of all of the Western democracies. The majority of the American people live paycheck to freaking paycheck before the pandemic. Over 70% of the American working class, I mean, you're talking about the majority of the country can't save $400 effing for an emergency. Okay? And they want us, they're interviewing the American people. And they're saying, the American people don't want those who don't need it to get the stimulus. Who gives a shit? Give it to everybody. Everybody in, nobody out. Period. That's why FDR made Social Security belong to everyone. So it's none of this, who are you on the ladder? Are you getting over? Are you getting away? The fact is, we can't do enough to fix this goddamn country and the virus, and do something and give relief to the American people. This country is suffering, and we're suffering from the division, the constant division. But that's the Republicans and the way that they, and also and the conservative Dems, who make me sick. And that's why we need to do the show. You understand? Because the only way they will be pushed is by the American people. So we need, we're talking about common sense. We're talking about the American way. This is the American way. Everything that we propose and that we talk about on the show, there's nothing out of the ordinary. It's nothing that we haven't done before, except for universal health care, of course. But when we talk about high marginal rates, high marginal tax rates, we've had a 90% high marginal tax rate during the socialist Eisenhower's administration. Everybody knows that. Most people, they don't say that on Fox News. They act like it's so off the wall when anybody brings it up. Oh my God. And it's yes. Oh, here we go. Means testing. Here's an article. Don't give relief checks to the rich. The U.S. government has, and this is some fucking person, who knows, from Yonkers Times, whatever. But this is a reflection on what's going on out there. By Dan Murphy. The U.S. government has been in need of means testing their entitlement programs for more than a decade. Fuck you. Okay? Sometimes that's all you can say. And I know I should be more pointed and not as lazy in my commentary. But that is my first thought when I hear something like that. The U.S. government has been in need of means testing their entitlement programs for more than a decade. You son of a bitch. No, we're in need of means testing the billionaires out of existence. That's what we're in need of. As Teddy Roosevelt called it, taxing the swollen fortune. As a patriotic imperative. That's what we are in need of. Means testing. Means testing in this country? I'm telling you, in the least upwardly mobile of all the Western democracies, and that effing Dan Murphy writes an article, we need to means test. Again, you know what means test means, everyone? When you means test, this is why the Republicans want to means test everything, because you can means test it out of existence. It plays right into their divide and conquer game. You means test, they turn you into the poor, the working poor, and then those who resent the poor. You understand? If you're a little higher on the ladder, if you're $76,000 and you don't get the relief package or nothing, but you're still struggling. Because that's the way it is here in the United States of serfs and lords. So then you look at your fellow Americans who are a little lower on the ladder with resentment. This is what they've done to this country. And that is why everybody in, nobody out is the only American way. If you want to fix this country, there you go. You attack our problems as American problems, not as the problems of the poor and the problems of the rich. We're in this together. And if you want to be an American citizen, you want to live in this country, this civilized country that is a nation of laws, that has courts, that has decent roads where the people can read and we all have a decent middle class life, this is my dream, of course, then you play by the rules of that country. If you want to have a business in that country, then you have to abide by the rules. You can't treat your workers like indentured servants or slaves or someone or nothing but parasites to ride to the bank and then discard. That they have to be treated treated with dignity and respect, and they have to earn a fair share of the profits that their labor makes possible. You could still be rich, as they were in all of American history, even in the time when the Republicans, they all pine for the good old days, but they don't pine for the 90% top marginal tax rates or the 35% unionized workforce. Of course not. That because it's a game. They only pine for the strict hierarchy of racial discrimination and social mores that keep everybody in their place. That's what they're pining about. But they're saying, "Oh, America was great back then, right? It was great. It was great." Yes, if you were white and you were a beneficiary of the New Deal, and we lived in a country where at the time, it was known as the Great Prosperity, thanks to government policy. Now we're trying to, they effectively destroyed the Great Prosperity. And they only did it with the help of their media, of their propaganda outlets. You understand? They could not have done it without the deregulation of the media and the likes of Rush Limbaugh and Fox News pushing their Reagan bullshit, their supply side bullshit, which is complete bullshit as means testing. Means testing this. If you need it, then you fucking need it. Okay? Everybody in, nobody out. That's the way it is. That is what will unify this country. We're not going to unify with people of all different persuasions and cabinet positions. Although that is important, that's only one small step. Jesus Christ. It's not that hard. They know it too. That's why they have to lie and push this game consistently. Because they don't want they like it like this. The oligarchs who buy the politicians, especially the right-wing oligarchs, especially. See, the lefty, if there are lefty oligarchs, they don't like the chaos. They enjoy the oligarchy, though. Like we just played that whole thing with Michael Bloomberg, him pretending he's a Democrat. Please. But nobody talks about the income disparity, the upward immobility. This is not democracy. It's not. You can have concentrated wealth or democracy, but you can't have both. Well, that's why taxing the rich at a high marginal tax rate is not just a good thing to do for the economy. It's also a patriotic imperative. We need to do it to have a functioning democracy. Same thing with bullshit. Get this means testing out of here, please, with this bullshit. Means test my ass, because you're means testing us into another divide and conquer insurrection. That's what they're doing. Keeping us divided. That's it. Means test. And it's a strategy. They understand that's what happens. It's human nature. I myself have heard people who claim to be Democrats complaining that they have to pay full freight for Obamacare on the Obamacare exchanges because they make too much to get a subsidy, while people get basically they can get their entire health insurance paid for. if you're poor enough, if you're lower on the ladder enough. But I have heard people that I love and respect who are Democrats say, I got to pay, so I got to pay for the poor too. So they're higher on the ladder, but there's the resentment. Because if you're making a little more money, it gets the squeeze is on, because then you're in the middle class, and the poor, the way that they run this country, there shouldn't be a thing called the working poor, which makes me sick. But it's like the middle class it's the rich, the billionaires own the millionaire mouthpiece networks to tell the middle class, the what's left of the middle class, that the problems are because of the people lower on the ladder. And they believe it. And on some level, it's true in a way, not a problem, but that the way that they cut people off. And it's as if we're not in it together. So it would be a lot less stressful for people, and it would certainly unify the country if everybody if you wanted to go to college, did it matter if you made $75,000 or $100,000 or $2,000? You can go to, just like you can go to public school, you can go to college. You can go to any college or trade school, because that's what we do as Americans. We invest in each other. You don't come out as an indentured servant to the banks. I mean, God. This is how we will unify this country. Everybody in, nobody out. And this is why the Republicans don't want to do it. But the other problem is the Democrats, the so-called conservative but here's the thing with the Republicans, before I forget, they're couching their call for means testing in the lingo of concern. They want to make sure it gets to the people who need it the most. Don't you know? They don't give a shit. If they gave a shit about people who needed it the most, would there be over 400,000 Americans dead right now? Would there be unemployment rate the likes of the first Republican Great Depression? No. They care so much. They want to make sure it gets to people who really need it. Well, you know what? People who really needed it a year ago. Okay? They needed a federal government not to lie and say, oh, it's just going to disappear like a dream. They needed the federal government not to tell them that the big problem was that it was the Democratic governors who were closing down the states, right? To divide liberate Michigan. Instead of giving people what they needed to get through the pandemic alive and with a roof over their head, they lied and played their divide and conquer game again and set the morons loose. It's almost like you can't. It's really frustrating. It's like you can't blame them completely but that you can't, because they're dupes clearly. But when you got the so-called president and all of his enablers continuously lying to you, and they will not stop. They feed into the big lie. And they're not letting go. They will not let go of that big lie. So, what do we do? What do? We have to really get the truth out there. Until the point where the American people, the normal people, the reachable people, aren't going to have it anymore. They're just not going to take it anymore. And of course, things will change. That's what happens. God help me. All right, hold on. I want to see who's in the chat. Am I wrong? No. Right, exactly. Haiku says, Obamacare is what happens when you try to work with Republicans. They suck. Obamacare sucks because it's the Republican health plan that's meant to keep the for-profit insurance racket in power. The insurance racket is the problem. I mean, they all suck. They have no freaking interest in what's right. They only have an interest in what makes the rich richer. Isn't that clear by now? They don't give a shit who dies. If you die, your mama dies. Who needlessly dies? That's why I talk about the 35,000 Americans who needlessly die every year. We should all be outraged. Needlessly die? What industry would be standing with that kills 35,000 Americans yearly and bankrupts a million more for my entire life? And before I was born, how many Americans are dead? You got to think about all the pain and suffering in this country, all of the families who would have had loved ones who would be alive, for God's sakes. The pain, the suffering, the orphaned children, the grief, and then the indifference and the immorality of the entire system built on your money or your life. And then you got this fucking bullshit Republican. Of course you don't work with them, because look at what happens. You give them their policies right back at them on a silver platter, and they spit in your face. They use it against you. They know it sucks. For God's sake, they know it sucks. That's why they can criticize it. It's their plan. That's what the Democrats should say. Well, it's your fucking plan, Sherlock. So if it sucks, you better look in the mirror. But the Democrats will never do that. They'll pretend it's bipartisan. I want to fix Obamacare. Well, you could have fucking fixed it in the first place by having a universal health care. Who the hell proposes a policy that leaves millions out? Oh, it's an improvement. But it still divides this country. Everything is a divided nation. We're divided. And then the rest of the people that have health care are hanging by a thread, and they're all afraid. That's what it's about. You know, it's the middle class. This is the old saying, how the middle class is... how the poor are, well, I think it was George Carlin who did that bit. The poor are used to keep the middle class on their toes or whatever from complaining too much. It's the fear factor. But it's the truth. Please, if the Democrats, it's time. Democrats, stop. If you're a real Democrat, enough. Enough with this bullshit. You know, and when I say it, and the Republicans know, there is no way they can fight us on this. How can you respond or negative? How can you negate? We don't leave anybody behind. What do you say to that? Yes, we do. Oh, I guess personal responsibility. Is that what they say? Because they only stick to personal responsibility when they're trying to kill somebody, trying to starve someone, or ensure that someone has to die needlessly. Fix Obamacare. The only fix the country needs is to get rid of the for-profit health insurance system. What kind of shit is that? The only fix this country needs is Medicare for all. That's it. And if the for-profit health insurance racket is so great, what do they got to worry about? Oh, we can't compete with the government. Why not? Yes, you can. If you have a if you allow people to buy into Medicare, the fuck is your problem? Why can't... we can't compete. Well, then get out of that ghoulish racket. It shouldn't exist. Don't get me started. I didn't mean to talk about this tonight. It really does burn me up, as you know, because I start having flashbacks to like Pete Buttigieg crying crocodile tears about people who work in the insurance racket industry. They'll lose their jobs. I'm sorry. That's why in Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All bill, there was millions and millions of dollars to get people retrained and into other jobs. But you never hear this. It only happens when the Republicans or the right-wing Democrats know that we're about to do something that we actually need. Then they give a shit. What about the people who die? Huh? What about the jobs? They're doing a job and then they drop dead on the way to their third uniquely American low-paying job because they were cutting their diabetes medicine in half. And I didn't pull that out of my ass. We know this. This is another thing that the Democrats suck at. Wait, hold on a second. What was that woman's name, now that I'm saying it? There was a woman who dies on way to, it was the second or third job. I'll just say second job. Diabetes. Because she was rationing her insulin. But I've heard these stories all the time. Yeah, rationing. Meanwhile, it was government research and development that created insulin, and it's on the market. It's actually a public domain drug, so to speak. But the high cost of insulin is causing Americans to ration their insulin, and they're dying. It's a fucking sick goddamn country, literally and figuratively. It's unreal. And then we read a story on this show about a woman who is an adult, no thanks to the for-profit health insurance racket. She was diagnosed with diabetes as a preteen. And she wrote an article for the New York Times. I'm alive in spite of the for-profit insurance racket. And because all during the campaign, we had to hear how much everybody loves their private health insurance, which is bullshit. Who the fuck loves their private health insurance? Nobody loves their private health insurance. They love getting health care. There's a difference. Nobody loves Blue Cross Blue Shield. Oh, yeah, I love Blue Cross Blue Shield when I go to the emergency room and then I get a fucking $1,000 bill. I love it. Don't you? Don't you love it? Because when it was out of network or some goddamn bullshit. I'm so sick of it. That's why I say, why, Granny? Because I would have been less stressed out all the time. It's not all the time, but, as you get older, I'm thinking, that's what will happen to me. One medical, like most Americans, I'm one catastrophic medical diagnosis away from losing it all, losing everything. We all live on the fucking edge. And then you don't go to the doctor because who can afford it? Can I afford to go? That's what a friend of mine who was from Ireland, he said he moved here because he married an American, the poor bastard. And he said that for the first time in his life, he didn't go to the doctor when he was sick because he thought, can I afford this? Never before. He said when he was in Ireland, he had a pain in his jaw. He didn't know what it was. Went to the doctor, found out. So. Well, not here, though. Not here. Wait, hold on a second. My friend is texting me something. I have to respond. Okay, I'm doing my show now. We'll do it after. Oh my God. All right. Guys. I need to relax. Hold on a second. Hold on. All right. Sorry. When this is what happens, because people just text me and they're like, blah, blah, blah. All right. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. The means testing. Placing it, here's this Dan Murphy article. Placing an income limit on those receiving a benefit from the government is the most common proposal of means testing. It appears that the first means test we will have will come in the next stimulus relief payments going out to Americans soon. Stimulus relief? Is that like a full release? President Joe Biden and Congress appear to be close to a $1,400 payment going out to Americans who make less than $75,000. God. If you make 75.5, oh well. But of course, the Republicans want to use 2019 numbers now too, because right before everybody got unemployed. Everything. Do they have the same high-powered focus, laser focus, when it comes to suckling on or allowing Wall Street to suckle on the government teat or the people in the 1%? Of course not. You know what? I remember when Twitler, God help me. I wish it was all erased from my... No, I don't. Don't. Be careful what you wish for. I remember when Twitler, after they passed the GOP tax scam through reconciliation. Oh, my God. Relax. After they passed the GOP tax scam, they said... I remember Twitler got on... wherever, screaming at the helicopter during one of those screaming helicopter meetings. And he said, yeah, we primed the pump. Oh, God, you remember that? I'm looking this up. But I'm writing Twitler. That's why nothing is coming up. Trump. Tax scam. Prime the pump. We primed the pump, he said. Now, we got the pump going. This is what he was saying. We jerked off the 1%, and now we're gonna do a double hand job. It's gonna go with we're gonna jerk you off now, but it's coming after the election. Remember this? We're gonna do a reach around on you assholes. Trust me, it's coming. I know I'm being vulgar. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I guess because I saw that Stormy Daniels was on Michael Cohen show. Yeah, President Trump told a whopper about his tax plan this month. This is from Catherine Rampell in the Washington Post. But it's not the one everyone is focusing on. In an interview with The Economist, Trump said his expensive proposal to cut taxes was akin to priming the pump, a phrase he declared he invented just a few days earlier. Oh, my God. Lots of commenters, critics, and comedians pounced on this coinage. They noted not only that the expression priming the pump was used a century ago, in the first Republican Great Depression, but also that Trump himself uttered the phrase many times before the date he claimed to have devised it. Yeah, he made it up. I primed the pump. I made it up. Yeah, it was all as if that's something is something you made. It's like when I was a child, I think I told you I was in elementary school, and I swore to everyone I made up the statement, no backs, no backs, no penny tax. I actually believe that. I remember being very adamant about it, but I was a child, not a 74-year-old toddler. Fun as it is to mock the silly etymological fib, doing so misses the larger lie that Trump's tax plan is in any way akin to the useful economic policy tool of pump priming. It is a lie that will help him scam the American public. Literal pump priming refers to injecting a little water into a pump, blah, 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 okay? But then the thing that's, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's an old article, but the thing that, it was just it's so insulting, you know? And people buy it, and they voted for him, and they still cheer the con man. Yeah, we primed the pump, and now next time you're going to get a tax scam. But that never came. In fact, the taxes that were in the GOP tax scam that benefited, even though it was few and far between, very minimally benefited those who got to work for a living, who weren't Trump's bankster oligarch suck-up friends, so-called friends. He has no friends. People that he wants to impress, who hate him, who secretly hate him. Those tax giveaways or whatever, the tax benefits that go to the people who work are expiring this year. They're gone. You fucking moron, right-wingers. God, I hate you. God, you're so stupid. You're so unbearably duped. How many times you got to be duped? It's the joke. It's a joke, goddammit. There's a sucker born every minute. Trumpanzees are living proof. Thank you, Resin Rebel, for your super chat. You are spot on every single show. Thank you so much. Thank you for your passion, dedication, and courage, Tara. Your voice is so important for this nation. Thank you. Thank you, Resin Rebel. God help me. And us. God help this goddamn country. The stupids are on the loose. And I'm here, I guess, to help push the normal people. And then I don't know. What are we doing here? Who am I? What am I? Here comes the music. Hold on. I know what I'm doing here. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. I do know what I'm doing. What we're doing is what we're doing, like what we talk about, which is getting the word out. We know what to do to fix this country. It's a matter of pushing those with the power and using our democratic means to push them. Push them. Everybody in, nobody out, giving them the means to fight. The power of the people. Yeah. And it distresses me when I hear and see articles about the American people think that the recovery rescue package should be targeted, that it should only go to those who need. Fuck you, everybody needs it. Stop with this bullshit. Everybody in, nobody out. How's that? How about that? How hard is that? We can't do enough. There's not enough. It's not that we're going to run out of money. I can't. Oh, that's what I heard Marjorie Taylor Green saying. I run a business, and I have to, if I ran a business like this, shut your QAnon pie hole. It's not a business. This is not a business. This is a country of diverse people. We have challenges. We have pluses and minuses. We got a lot of different people. We got, it's a goddamn country. not a business. Sometimes you can't just say, okay, fuck you. We won't take you or whatever. We're in this is our country. We have to deal with what's here. It's not a business. I'm so sick of that. And how many more times do we have to play this businessman game to venerate the businessman? And of course a man, right? What the hell do they do? Nothing. Business. Oh, innovate. Well, we're creating jobs. You know what creates jobs? People create jobs. You have a good idea, good. But does that mean, like, for example, you had an idea to create an online bookstore, so you should be the fucking richest person on Earth and go to Mars after you fuck this country up? Or okay, good idea. You could be a rich mother effer. You could be so goddamn rich, too. You can live in a mansion. You can have 5 mansions. But you know what? Your workers, the people who make bring the goddamn books to people and, on and on, the people who put their time in to make the company move and go. Go then. If Jeff Bezos wants to deliver all those books himself and all that now, let him do it. But all of us, we invested in each other. So the people who drive, they can read the signs. They know where to go. They can read. And if there's a problem, the Jeff Bezos, they can use our court system. It's a civilized country. There's a police. They if somebody gets robbed, they call the cops. This is all us. The civilization. And they ride on roads that are paved. It's not just the goddamn Wild West. They're not making their own roads. And the workers, they wake up in the morning, they drink their morning coffee using the tap from the water that is inspected when everything is running properly. So they're not, the workers aren't coming down with all kinds of parasites. And, we can go on. This is why we pay our taxes. It's the price of admission to a civilized society. And our government of by and for the people writes the rules of the country, the kind of country we want to be. It's not just a country for the rich to amass such wealth that they can be the new corporate feudal lords who lord over a giant pool of unwashed masses to exploit. No, right? So if Jeff Bezos, he became more. How many more billions did he make in this pandemic? It's a offense. All of those profit should have gone to the workers. And then you want to prime the pump? Then you have a friggin' prime pump. I don't care how much Jeff Bezos can trickle. It's not enough. Trickle. It's so offensive, too. Trickle. How dare you? Anybody who says trickle, they should say that with caution. Trickle. You dare you trickle. Oh my God. And thank you, Richard W., for your super chat. Everybody in, nobody out. There you go. Right, Paradu on the chat. He did it himself. He did it all himself. He invented the internet. He laid the wires. He wrote English. He made English. He made everybody read it. Right? He did it all himself. Oh, Jesus. Mary and Joseph. Let me see. Who is emailing me something annoying? All right. Of course, RDT Daily is still not working. That's going to be the end of that. So, where is everybody? Okay, there you are. What did I want to talk about? I have it written down. No, I know I want to talk about. A couple of things. Well, of course. Here, let me just get into this. Why not? I was going to talk about the impeachment. The Republican, their defense. Maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow, too. Their defense basically is because they're infants. They're emotionally stunted, greed-centered ghouls. I wish they only lived in the vents, but they're out flying around the country, making it worse, and lying for their con man. I mean, that's how disgusting they are. That's how much they hate this country. You understand? Think about it. There is a con man. Everybody knows he's a con man. They know he's a con man. He's a sociopath. He is a vile waste of human DNA. An ignorant Twitter troll when he was allowed to be on Twitter. That's it. Who can't spell. A serial bankrupt. A sexual predator. A dictator-envying threat to national security. A draft dodger. A tax cheat. A unsuccessful businessman who, I mean, what successful businessman, what billionaire has to be the face of a multi-level marketing vitamin scam? Enough said. That's who this scumbag, this disloyal waste of human DNA, who demands nothing but loyalty, who will wipe his ass with the country, who if he had to, he would burn this country to the ground, as we saw on January 6th. He hates this country. He only loves it. He pretends to love it because he needs the dupes. He thinks that patriotism is humping a flag when he's on stage. So the dupes can worship him like, I don't understand. But this is the guy, this scumbag, who is so sick that he said on national television that if he wasn't her father of Ivanka, if she wasn't his daughter, he would be dating her. He doesn't know how disgusting that is. You know why? Because he considers that the highest of compliments. If he wants to fuck you, then you're somebody who's worthy. So he doesn't see how vile it is to want to F your own daughter. You see what I mean? That's how sick he is. This is the person who the filthy fascist Republicans are continuing to protect. They're continuing to lie for. And what's their defense? Oh, he's not impeachable because he's not the president? Well, he was when they impeached him, you scum. You lying pricks. That's how much they hate this country. And that's how much they hate the people who vote for them. It really is true. They hate them. They hate them so much. They depend on their stupidity and they count on it. They take that stupidity to the bank. Where so much so that they have the outright balls to say, okay, we're going to wait till after he's out of office to do this trial. And then they're going to say, well, we can't do the trial because he's out of office. That's how stupid they know the people who cheer them are. They don't care. You know why? I mean, really, we have to say it. It does come down to racism. Yes, it does. Yes, it absolutely does. That's it. That's what makes, stupidity and racism go hand in hand. You have to, and that's why it's not only important and nice and moral and good and decent to run, to push policies that leave no one behind, it is also a patriotic imperative. You want to fix this country? You want to unify this country? Then unify the effing country. That's it. Everybody in, nobody. Health care for all. Living wages for all. Homes. A country that we can all be proud of. Schools that are funded through taxes, through the general taxes, not through property taxes. It's all racism. It goes down to that. We have these racist ass policies. We would already, in my opinion, have universal health care if not for racism. All of these divide and conquer tactics are a byproduct. They're leftovers of times that we have to leave in history's trash pile. But that's why, they keep pushing them. They need us divided. Clearly. It's not a coincidence. When you look at the traitors at the Capitol, at the insurrection, the Trump insurrection, they're all white people. Yeah, there's a couple of black people in there. Of course, they'll push them up front and center for their propaganda videos. But that's not a coincidence. That's because most people, there's stupid people everywhere, of course. But they understand, people who know they're at any way aware, they understand what the Republicans are about. Oh, jeez. All right, so wait a second here. Wait a second. Hold on. So I got a tweet from an account, COVID-19 free 2021. Oh, who is this? Oh, it's Deborah. I didn't realize that was you. Okay, Deborah, I'm following you back. And anyway, so Deborah wrote, can you listen to the Michael Cohen podcast with Adam Carolla? Adam is such a right-wing anus. I'd love to hear your takedown on it. Thanks and keep up the great podcast. So I asked for a link, and she sent a link, and I did listen to it. And yeah, it is, to call him an anus to call Adam Carolla an anus is an insult to anus is. Is that a word? Anuses? I guess it is. Because anuses have a purpose, and you need an anus, and a functioning anus. Adam Carolla. What purpose does he serve? None at all, except to make the country stupid and give the stupid and racist and morons and right-wing insanity, to give them cover. That's it. To give them a home to go to listen to give them a mirror that says you don't have to change at all. You don't ever change. Be yourself. Be as stupid and racist and misogynist and moronic as you want to be. That's your birthright. And don't listen to those libs. They make you feel bad. That's all it is. It's mocking the libs, owning the libs. Don't ever change, though. That's what the whole Adam Carolla thing is. So I listened to it, and Michael Cohen, it was really getting on my nerves. Almost like my camera gets on my nerves. Because I see the camera's out of focus again. Why? Let's see if I can fix it. Jeez. I don't know. Whatever. I should not look. It just pisses me off. All right. So let's play a little bit of it. There's a couple of points in there that I wanted to really talk about. So let's see. Oh, here it is. Here's the first part.
First things first, we need to get back to the golden rule. The golden rule was a great rule that sort of kept society in check. It's like do unto others as you've had done to yourself. And if you don't want, if you wouldn't like it if your neighbor's dog took a poop on your lawn and didn't clean it up, then you, in turn, could not let your dog take a poop on the neighbor's lawn. It's a very basic.
I could see why he has all the fans.
The golden rule, but. Yeah, if you don't want to be called a racist, then don't call anyone else a racist. Or if you don't...
So that's where you lose me. Of course, well, he lost me at Adam Carolla. I know his background. But if you don't want to be called a racist, don't call me... Well, if you called me a racist, I'd be like, okay, whatever. I'd laugh at you. Just like if you called me a giant purple people eater. Okay. I mean, we all have our racist whatever, the baggage living in this country. But, there's a difference between being a racist and using your platform for giving racists cover and attracting racists to your show. Meaning they don't ever want to change. They don't want to be educated. They don't want to see the American experiences that aren't through their own goddamn eyes, their own myopic vision. That's all they want to know. They don't want to be educated. They don't want to get real. They don't want to see their fellow Americans as fellow Americans if they have darker pigment. It's sick. They don't want to see the real history of the United States. As long as all they want to see are like eagles and stars, like a baby looking at a mobile. Eagles, stars. These colors don't run. There's a lot of complexity in this country, and there are all sorts of American experiences, and some are good and some are horrific. And we own them all. That's what makes us who we are. And what we are is a culturally diverse nation of immigrants, and we need to embrace that and accept that. And I find that actually one of the good things about America. It makes me proud to be an American. Where, I mean, if we're functioning, the Republicans don't want it that way, of course, but they want to deny that we're a nation of immigrants. I mean, they're so sick. That's why they hate this country. They hate the idea of America. They don't want to embrace the true origin story of America. So they deny it, and when you want to talk about the origin story of America, they say you hate America. It's incredible. No, we don't hate America. We're just not babies. We're adults who are emotionally and intellectually, spiritually, and emotionally mature enough to embrace the entire ball of wax here. What it means to be an American. What it is. What the American story is. That's it. That's who we are. We could either deny it, or we could make a more perfect union. But we have to accept it in order to recover. Where did I hear that before? I know this from recovery, of course, and anybody in recovery knows that. That's the way it is. We're not perfect. This country is no country is perfect. Everybody has a mixed history. This is not really the end of the show. It's just my own cue. Not QAnon, but just to keep track of the time. I'll lower it a little. So, you hear what he's saying, Adam Carolla. He's saying, we have to get back to the golden rule. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Okay, great. You don't want to be called a racist? Don't call me well, don't be a racist. You know what I mean? We're not calling you a racist. You're being a racist. You're being a bigot. It's showing, and we're pointing it out. So if everybody was saying to me, if on my Twitter feed or on the chat, and they said, Tara, you're being a racist, you're a racist, I would be like, what did I do? What did I say? Is this a blind spot? Educate me. That's what normal adults do. And they don't want to hear it. So they blame the other. They blame as they do all the time, as they will do tomorrow in the impeachment. In the second impeachment, they will blame everybody else but themselves. It wasn't them. Oh, wah. You say this. Well, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? That's what they are, babies. You don't give babies power. You don't give them the keys to your car. You don't make them representatives of the government. You don't say, hey, baby, can you drive me across? Well, you may say it to your girlfriend or something, but not a real baby. So if it's not, we're not calling you a racist because we're trying to be na. We're saying you're being a friggin' racist, especially if people who have darker pigment are saying you're being racist. Well, why don't you sit up and listen and say, what did I do? I'm sorry. Can you educate me? I didn't mean it. Please show me the light. Show me a different way. Make me a better human being. I mean, God forbid, right? Make me not be a douchebag my whole right-wing useless life. Adam Carolla, maybe you could use your platform to educate, but no. Because when you try to educate, when you say, that's the first step in educating. It's like when I was younger and people are like, you're an alcoholic. And I was like, what are you talking about? I only drink from sun up to sundown. What about you? You drink, yeah, you know what I mean? That's the way they are. I don't know if it's denial. It's immaturity. So you're a racist. If everybody is calling you a racist, think about what you're doing and saying. Really have the courage to take that inventory. Don't be like, oh, you call me a racist. If you don't want, here's the golden rule. If you don't want to be called a racist, then don't call me a racist. Well, nobody's calling you a racist just because we can't think of any other name to call you. I got a million names for you. Moron, ignorant, willful ignorant, dupe, sucker, Philistine, I don't know, Trumpanzee, devolved, misogynist, homophobe. I mean, we could go on, but wait, those are terms too that you should look at. Yeah, golden dumbass, Paradu. On the chat, that's a good one. White Rabbit, talentless hack. Yes. There's a lot you can call him. So it's not that we don't have enough names in our arsenal to call you. God damn it. If everybody's calling right-wingers, I'm talking to all of you now, right-wingers. If you're being called a racist, think about why. Why? Don't just dismiss it. It's like that seminar they gave at CPAC years ago. Are you tired of being called a racist when you know you're not? That's what they had a whole seminar on that. A whole class. Aren't you? I mean, could you imagine that's a class? Are you tired of being called a racist when you know you're not? That was one of their groups at CPAC. One of the, I mean, that's not even, it's another grievance. I'm tired of being called a, what could you learn at that seminar? Here's a first speaker. Yeah, I'm tired of being called a racist when I know I'm not. Yay. Second speak. Aren't you tired of being called a racist? I sure am tired of being called a racist when I know I'm not. Aren't you tired? Tired. We're all tired of being called a name. And aren't you? Applause. You in the audience will take a question. I'm tired of being called a racist when I know I'm not. Aren't you tired? Liberals are so bad calling us names when they know we're not. No. That's the first step. The first step in recovery is admitting you have a problem. And usually you find out you have a problem. Everybody else already knows you have a problem. When you have a problem like that, the whole world knows it before you do. Probably. I mean, as I'm speaking about in recovery, people knew I had a problem long before I did. So it's just so tedious. The golden rule. Yeah, don't call. You don't want me to take a what is he saying? Let's play the thing.
Call anyone else a racist. Or if you don't want to act this way or be called that, then you shouldn't do it as well. So first, just a general basic sort of golden rule.
Don't call people a racist. Well, what if they are racist? What do you do then? It's a that's the golden rule? No, that's the golden rule of conservatism. Being a conservative means never, ever saying you're sorry. That's it. That's another golden rule of conservatism. Never saying you're sorry, even for a deadly insurrection that killed a cop and 4 other people and maimed others. Never saying you're sorry. It's always somebody else's fault. It's Maxine Waters' fault because when the fascists were ripping babies from the arms of their mothers, people were getting in the faces of the fascists saying, you know what, I really don't want you to leave my restaurant. I'm not cooking you dinner. I'm not your whatever. I'm not your indentured servant here. You're not going to destroy this country by day and I get to make you a nice meal by night. You're not a decent society. Go home. That's all. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But now they're saying, oh, they're picking on us. Well, how about you not be a fascist? They said to get in our faces. Oh, did we say Second Amendment remedies? No, we said confront the fascists wherever they go. Make it uncomfortable for them. They don't get to be a fascist by day that commits human rights crimes against humanity. That we will be living in the repercussions of these crimes against humanity for the rest of my life. Because they created how many damaged people? More damaged people. More people who hate this country. And disappeared children who God knows where they went. Some of them could be sex trafficked. These fuckers. They couldn't even bother to write down their names and figure out where they were going. So we have to clean up that mess too. But we have to live in a world with more damaged people thanks to the Republicans. So that's why. Get in their faces. You don't get to be a war criminal, and that's a crime. Well, I guess it was it a war technically? Whatever. You know, you don't get to commit crimes against humanity by day and then go out for a nice civilized meal with your community? No. That's how we put pressure on you. You feel the heat. You don't like it? Then look at yourself. But they don't want to do that. It's everybody else's fault. Oh, you wouldn't cook a meal for me. I was uncomfortable. Oh, really? What about the baby you ripped from the mother's arms? I swear I cannot stand them. Which is more, I didn't have a nice dinner, or you disappeared hundreds of children. You did something that is so abhorrent that we will be ashamed for generations. It will come back to haunt us in ways that haven't even been revealed yet. Jeez, it's like everything they do. We always pay the price. We have to, that's it. Nothing is free. That's what they say, right? It's not free. Freedom isn't free. How about being a decent person? That helps. That helps your country stop committing crimes against humanity, but they couldn't help it, right? That was their plan. That's the only thing they have. They didn't have any ideas. Their ideas are make the rich richer and everybody else an indentured servant. So what are you going to do in that situation? You got to feed the racism of your mouth-breathing, racist-ass base, so rip babies from the arms of their mothers when they're seeking asylum from the failed states that we helped create. But, how could you all you had to do, right-wingers, was follow the law. We wrote the laws after World War II. We did, so another Holocaust would never happen again. People are allowed, when they're fleeing failed states that we helped create especially, they're allowed to present themselves at the border and get a day in court to seek asylum here. And what a different world and country this would be if they said, okay, here's your day in court, like we did for years and years. And Obama never separated babies from their mothers and their families, even though the Republicans, Obama did it. This is who they are. They're liars. Well, Johnny did it. Obama did it. No, we didn't, liar. No, we didn't. What they did is what we do here. Let me explain again, because, we can never move forward with these right-wingers because we're constantly having to re-explain reality to them. But it doesn't matter how. You're wasting your breath constantly because it's like a brick wall. It won't penetrate. Obama and every other president before him, they took babies from their mothers when the mother was a danger to the baby, like a drug addict showing up or something like that, or whatever they deemed the child to be in danger. That's the only time they did that. The same thing we do here in the United States. When they deem someone as a danger to their child, they come and they take the child and put it in foster care. That's what happened at the border. You lying pricks. Oh, Obama did it too. And then you hear it on TV all the time. You'll hear Melania. Remember when Melania was like, I don't give a shit about Christmas and blah, blah, blah. Wine. Oh, and nobody cared about Obama when Obama did it. You're a liar. But then they play that on the corporate media. Nobody comes back and says, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, we played that audio tape, but the fact is she lied in that audio or was misinformed. Obama never took babies from the arms of their mothers as a policy. They took it as a deterrent policy. They took babies from the arms of their mothers when the mother or the guardian was a danger to the child, just like we do here. or they do all over the world. Oh, I hate them. Oh, my God. But, golden rule. Do unto others. Yeah, don't call me a racist. I wonder what they would do if white people were showing up at the border. If it was Canadians suddenly had to show up, God help them. I know they would be. I know it's the other way around, but would they rip the babies? No, it's because they don't consider them human. That's why. You know why? Adam Carolla? Guess what? Guess what? Because you got a soul sickness. Okay? And it's called racism. Or bigotry. I mean, racism is usually denotes policy. Well, that is a policy, but we can't look in people's hearts, but we can hear their words and see their actions. And they do it, and we could see the difference. Just like we could see the difference on January 6th when the Capitol Police, even though they were being murdered and hit over the head with Blue Lives Matter flags and being sprayed with bear spray, and everyone was chanting "Hang Mike Pence," and then we would see the videos of the Capitol Police holding a lady's arm, taking her down the stairs nicely, giving them direction. Okay, well, how do you get out of here? You take a left around the dump of shit you left on the floor, right at the broken skull, left at the pierced eyeball and punctured lung, and then you'll see the exit sign. Oh, but everybody's picking on them. It's everybody, but everybody's always, it's just two worlds. Liberals get away with everything. We're just picking on them. Calling them racists.
Number two, we have to get away from the crazy narcissism that we're now all ensconced in, which is not everything
what a philosopher.
Around you. Not everything is a personal attack. Not every piece of news is an attack on you or has anything to do with you. And then we have to get rid of this kind of tribalism. Whereas, I got my team, and if the star running back on my team rapes his girlfriend,
that's a
he's
good
fine.
analogy.
I'm not gonna judge. That's great. If your
it's funny how he
star
goes right there.
rapes his girlfriend, I want him put in jail for 1,000 years.
Okay. Now let me get back to reality. Of course, there you go again, Adam Carolla. If my star running back rapes somebody, he needs to go to jail for 1,000 years. Let me tell you, when do the Democrats? First of all, I have a name, Al Franken. How's that? How about who's the other one? That one who was married to Uma Abedin. What's his name? Anthony Weiner. We got rid of him. They got rid of him lickety split. But Al Franken, what the hell did he do? So I'm telling you, there are already two. And then you have the Republicans raping people, cheating on their wives, whatever they do. All of the hypocrisy that goes on in the Republican caucus. Who's that guy that got? He was. What happened? Let me see. Somebody on the chat will remind me. I think he was cheating on his... Oh, no, he was caught with a prostitute. Republican. Caught with prostitute. And comes back to Congress to a standing ovation. Remember that? They gave him a standing ovation. Same thing they did to Marjorie Taylor Green. They gave her a standing ovation. They gave her a fucking standing ovation? That's stupid. bitch. A stupid bitch who thinks that, Jews have a laser to clear the forests for high speed. I mean, this is how sick they are. So give me a break. Once again, the Republican, it's a lie. Yeah, there are two rules. The Republicans get away with murder. They get away with everything scot-free. There's no crime that can touch them. And the Democrats, everybody, they're mean to me. They called me a racist for ripping up babies from the arms of their mothers. For saying things like Rush Limbaugh says, some people are just born to be slaves. And we could go on and on of the history of Republican racism. How about the election? Throwing out the votes. Oh, a lot of funny things go on in all of these neighborhoods that have people with darker pigment in them. Just so coincidentally, right? No, it's the dog whistle. Oh, how about Lee Atwater? N-word, N-word, N-word. You start out saying N-word, N-word, N-word. Now you say forced busing. Then you say taxes. And the bottom line is blacks get hurt worse than whites. And that's what you're saying. Then this is their strategy. Right from the mouth of one of their big propagandists, their consultant. And then it goes on. Oh my God, it never ends, does it? Well, tomorrow's going to be interesting. Wait, here's the second part. I mean, the whole thing went on, but these are the two parts I want us to talk about. Here's another part. More both sides bullshit.
I'm curious what you consider cancel culture
and
what you consider reasonable. Like, does stripping the QAnon lunatic Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Green of her committee assignments count as cancel culture?
Cancel culture?
Or should
Fuck
someone
you.
who advocated for the execution of the House Speaker and believes that Jewish space lasers started forest fires and school shootings are staged not sit on the House Education Committee? Wouldn't that sound reasonable?
Yes, that sounds reasonable to me.
Oh, wow. He's a reasonable right-winger. Wow. We can get along.
But the problem with that is then you start going the other direction
with
it. You get the Ilhan Omar and other names on the left you could make a pretty good argument. There's a fair bit of anti-Semitism coming out of the squad. And then you could also argue that they shouldn't be on committees either. But I agree. She's a nut job. Get rid of her. Not gonna defend her.
I mean, and yet she sits on the House Education Committee. I just find that to be so funny.
But here's the thing, Michael. Everyone knows who AOC is. She's nuts. This other.
Okay. Breathe. See, this is a tactic, and I'm pointing it out. Here it is again. We hear this a lot now on the corporate media, everywhere. AOC, it's like AOC and Ilhan Omar. AOC, she's nuts. You got a fucking example? What's the example? No one ever says. And then Michael Cohen goes on to talk about, oh yeah, it's the far left and the far right. What is far left about what AOC talks about? She's talking about FDR policies. Not even Eisenhower's top marginal tax rate. Just getting back to the top marginal tax rate that we had under Reagan before he destroyed it. Right? When the country was actually known for having the slight, it wasn't the widest income disparity. We had the smallest. And we were the most upwardly mobile. That's not an accident. That's because of policy. It's not because we all of a sudden the American people decided that we were going to be even more productive and work even more of our lives, give it more to this capitalist goddamn meat grinder and get paid less for less and not retire? For no health care? To not save $400? Is this what we decided? When did we have that meeting? No, you know when they had it? They had it when Reagan was peddling the Laffer curve and all the rest of the voodoo to the morons. It's not a coincidence they peddled the Laffer curve and supply side economics and all their other bullshit. At the same time, they pushed the welfare queen, the mythical welfare queen. It's all about divide and conquer. Ilhan Omar is anti-Semitic because she said that this was the big scandal. She said that the Senate and the House, they were trying to make it, I don't know if they did, if they were successful actually, in making it illegal for the government to divest, to use financial means to push Israel and into negotiating with the Palestinians, and like we did during apartheid, they used divestment, and it's a tool that is used to push policies and government policies. So, I mean, I don't know the whole story of what happened with the divestment movement. Let me see. Ilhan. And then, so Ilhan Omar tweeted something about, what did she say? I don't know. That's something that pushing this, or so they said. They ascribed it to her, that she was pushing the dual loyalty trope. But shouldn't we? We're not supposed to question Israel. This is the other thing that gets on my nerves. We should question every country. We question our own country. We shouldn't question Israel, and I don't know. Okay, I'm not. I don't speak about it because I'm not an expert in that whole situation. So I can't really informedly comment on it. But that's what I know. That's all I know about it. And so they attacked Ilhan Omar, but this is what they do. This is what Republicans do. Anything that the Democrats do that they can get some kind of political mileage out of, and taint the Democrats as racists, or especially anti-Semites, that's for sure. Wait, hold on. There's another article I want to... And, well, this is what they're going to do tomorrow with the impeachment trial. But saying that it's the Democrats are the violent. They're the ones with the violent rhetoric. Yeah, they told us to get in their face, people to get in our faces when we went out to eat, and when we were at the gas station. They didn't let us. They were gonna come at us and say, we don't like that you're committing crimes against humanity while we're trying to fill up our tanks. Yeah, it's a little bit different. But, hey, that's it. They're already attempting. In fact, what's his name? Ron Johnson suggested that Nancy Pelosi was responsible for the Capitol riot. Yeah, this is where we're going here. Because being a Republican means everybody, it's like, wah, wah. Isn't that tedious when you're dealing with children? They're like, well, Johnny did it. Well, look at Peggy. Look at Mary. Look at... When a child does that, you're like, you understand that the child needs correction, and that is it's pretty unfortunate, and it's kind of alarming that a child is such a liar, so and refuses to take responsibility for itself. But. Wait, hold on. A second. I'm just looking for this article about Ilhan Omar. Because they really, I mean, you telling me, first of all, that they're incessant, their high focus on Ilhan Omar is an accident? It has nothing to do with racism. No? Really? For the filthy, disgusting con man who received fewer votes to say, go back to your own country. And she's telling us how to run our country. And then Rand Paul actually said that she should be grateful and that he would buy her a ticket home. She should be grateful to be here. So she shouldn't be in Congress telling people, telling the white men what to do. You see? You telling me that's not racism. It's complete racism. And they know it. And they stoke that. They blow those dog whistles. That's not even, it's a damn bullhorn. And they're trying the both sides. So, especially with Marjorie Taylor Green, they're trying to, they don't have, what's the example with AOC, by the way? She's crazy, like Marjorie Taylor Green. Well, give me a fucking example. I'm so sick of the corporate media allowing the filthy, disgusting Republicans to just say whatever they say and get away with it without, they don't have to bring the receipts. They don't have to bring any backup. They just say it. And that's propaganda. It is absolute propaganda. And this is why on the show, I'm not just up here saying Republicans suck. We got all the receipts. We have the history. We have the examples. We have their own words. For God's sakes. So Ilhan Omar on February 3rd, she brought up that the GOP is whitewashing this false equivalency of her and Representative Green. This is from The Hill, from Christina Marcos. Representative Ilhan Omar on Wednesday slammed the push by a handful of GOP lawmakers to remove her from the House Foreign Affairs Committee as racist and misogynistic attempt to draw a false equivalency with the controversy surrounding Marjorie Taylor Green. Of course they are. That's all they have. They don't look at themselves. They don't clean their own house. They're like, oh, it's her. This is a good one. Yeah. They have no idea. They don't have any interest in changing or learning anything from their insurrection, from their treason. They will do it again, and the next time they're gonna be successful. The next time it'll be worse. Trust me. They haven't learned a thing, and they're still stoking the fires with the lies. And they don't, and everywhere we look, we have the lies. The big lie is being spread. The false equivalencies are being spread without any backup. What are you talking about? Ilhan Omar is anti-Semitic. Bring the receipts. What? She's not anti-Semitic. Bring the fucking receipts. AOC is crazy. What? What has she done? What has she said? Does she say that let's get some of Marjorie Taylor Greene's. Let's see. Some of her greatest hits. Let's see. Where is it? There was a whole list here. Oh, God. Well, of course, she attacked Ilhan Omar, along with the lasers. She is a 9/11 conspiracy theorist. She thinks, well, of course, QAnon. Isn't it a coincidence? She's such a freak. I love what do you say? Is that a coincidence? Everything's a goddamn conspiracy. She says that the school shootings are false flags. I mean, this is who we're talking about. A freak. A nut job. Oh my God. So what they continuously, I hear this on MSNBC. I hear it everywhere, and it's driving me insane. They always go, not just to Ilhan Omar. They use her when they say anti-Semitic. Well, Ilhan Omar. They don't bring the receipt. They don't say, well, back it up. Back it up, bitch. They say, oh, well, Marjorie Taylor Green, we have our crazies, but you have AOC. Well, what the fuck? And I'm cursing a lot. Yes, I know. What is so crazy about universal health care, universal higher education, a Green New Deal? What in the Green New Deal? They couldn't name one fucking thing in the Green New Deal. You know that. What's so crazy about a high marginal tax rate that we had? All of the things that we're talking about, we already had in this country. We've had government as the employer of last resort, the CCC, the WPA. Right? So why do they continuously, well, why, of course, I know why they do it, why they make these false equivalencies, but why does the corporate media, and in this case, Michael Cohen, let them get away with it? Well, I got the impression when I was listening to Michael Cohen's interview with this guy that he was more interested in finding common ground with Adam Carolla. Say, hey, yeah, we can get along. We're in the middle. We're not the left, and we're not the far left and the far. What is far left? By the way, I'd like to know, what is so far left? What is far left about a country that is the least upwardly mobile, where the majority can't save $400 goddamn dollars? What is the left in that country, where 1/3 can't retire, where the majority, you're talking 80% of the American people living check to check? What's far left in that country? Where in the middle of a pandemic, where millions are declaring unemployment or filing for unemployment, we have the rich getting richer at a disgustingly vile, at a sickening rate. Vulgar is the term. What's far left in that country? Well, Omar said about the false equivalencies, Republicans will do anything to distract from the fact that they have not only allowed, but elevated members of their own caucus who encourage violence. It's time to stop whitewashing the actions of violent conspiracy theorists who pose a direct and immediate threat to their fellow members of Congress and our most fundamental democratic processes. What's wrong with that statement? Nothing. Did she say anything that wasn't true? Well, unlike the Republicans, she didn't say a damn thing that isn't true. That is an entirely true statement. Unlike the right-wingers. So AOC? She's nuts. That's all they got. She's a nut. Don't listen to her. She might want to raise taxes. You know, if you listen to her, we might end up having a more perfect union. We might end up having a country where you can go to a doctor when you're sick. I mean, that's fucking crazy. If you listen to her, we might actually be able to be paid a living wage and retire and have a decent middle-class life and decent working conditions. We might have to not have 2 or 3 uniquely American low-paying jobs. Isn't that insane? We might have to live in a country where, you know, like during when Twitler shut down the government for the 4th time or whatever, however many times he did, And the people living who all of a sudden missed 2 paychecks and were on a food bank line. Because that's not a functioning economy, by the way. That means we're not living in a country that works for all. In this country where the rich are disgustingly rich and the poor are living in tent cities, this shouldn't even be the case. And then they divide us, and then they want to target really to the ones who need it the most. Well, if you gave a shit about the ones who need it the most, we wouldn't be in this boat. Not at all. We wouldn't be in a boat. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have millions of unemployed. We wouldn't be on the verge of the next Republican Great Depression. We wouldn't be cleaning up after them again. 400,000 and counting wouldn't be dead. People losing their homes. We wouldn't have to go through this again and again, 3 times in 100 years. I hate them. Nuts. Nuts. She's nuts. AOC is nuts. So nuts. They don't ever say why. We heard it the other day on The View. And then I heard it on, they just say, oh, well, you got Marjorie Taylor Green. We got AOC. That's what Whoopi Goldberg said, right? On the View the other day. With, of course, nothing to back it up. I'm so sick of it. And that's why we're here. That's why we do this show. Because there will come a time when we get enough people to not just watch the show, but listen and spread the truth, to point it out. They won't have the nerve to say shit like that because people will know they're full of shit. What's AOC is nuts. Really? Really? Tell me, show me, where? Does she think lasers are doing something? What's happening? What did I miss? What is nuts about a living wage for a day's freaking work? What is nuts about being able to retire or being able to go to a doctor when you're sick? What's goddamn nuts about not going bankrupt if you get sick? What's nuts about not being homeless? Or having the resources you need in a pandemic, or the government, because we're in this together, providing what's needed to get through the pandemic alive. What's goddamn nuts about that? That's what it means. That's the social contract, right? We're in this together. No, we're in this for them. That's what it is. One last thing. I know it's late. And my timer went off. Thanks for hanging out, by the way. We'll try to do a show tomorrow. I'll try. That's all I can say. Yep. And thank you again, Errol, for your super chat, and Jim, and JD, and Robin, and Resin Rebel, and Richard W., and all the patrons. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin if you want to keep the show going and, more importantly, growing. Become a patron, share the show with your friends, give the show a good review on iTunes. Join us on Discord. I actually saw somebody posted a Tarabuster video in a chat on, or in a community on Reddit. That was nice. I didn't do that. It was in a community for discovering good YouTube videos, and I don't know, I put it on my, somebody pointed it out to me. Who did that? Somebody sent that to me on chat, and I put it on Twitter. If you can go to Reddit and upvote it. I know that's a very broad statement. That was Robyn, wasn't it? Was that you, Robyn, that did that? Or posted it? I like to see that. When I see that people that I don't know who to post a link like that, I thought, oh, cool. The word is getting out. Thank you again, Richard. Another super chat. Another great show, Tara. Thank you so much. What else? Wait. I just want to play one more thing. I don't know. I don't want to... We're probably going to wrap it up around 11 at this time. Like 15 minutes. But here's the Republicans. Here's a montage. Well, it's a bunch of Republicans. This is going to be their argument tomorrow.
Concern you that many people saw that tweet as racist and that white...
Oh, wait. Am I playing the right thing? Wait, hold on. No, this is the wrong one.
Were the president's tweets?
They're talking... This is the Republicans defending his tweets. Here, maybe I have the wrong video back.
Joining us now from Kentucky, GOP Senator Rand Paul.
Well, we'll have to stick... Wait. We'll have to stick with this one. I'll play with... I thought I had the montage of all the Republicans defending Trump's impeachment. Like, basically showing what they're going to say tomorrow. But this is good enough. Let's play this Rand Paul, because he is a particular scumbag.
Joining us now from Kentucky, GOP Senator Rand Paul. Senator, we'll get to the procedural questions about the Senate trial that I know you're concerned about in a moment. But first, you just heard Liz Cheney. Does President Trump bear any responsibility for the attack on the Capitol on January 6th?
You know, I opposed the notion of, which I think was a misguided notion, of voting to overturn the election either with Congress or with the vice president. But I think if we're going to criminalize speech and somehow impeach everybody who says, oh, go fight to hear your voices heard, I mean, really, we ought to impeach Chuck Schumer then. He went to the Supreme Court,
son of a bitch,
stood in front of the Supreme Court and said specifically, hey, Gorsuch, hey, Kavanaugh, you've unleashed a whirlwind and you're going to pay the price.
Of course, they're conflating. And of course, you know that he's talking about an incident where Chuck Schumer actually went on the Senate floor and apologized for his inflammatory talk. He shouldn't have said that. He didn't say, go fight. It's trial by combat. We're losing our country. He didn't lie to the American people. That's for sure. And he didn't continue to spread the big lie. This is what they forget. All throughout the months and months and months, Twitler is spreading the lie that he won the election. He didn't win. He lost like he lost the first time. Oh, my God.
You won't know what hit you if you continue with these awful decisions. This inflammatory wording, this violent rhetoric of Chuck Schumer was
violent
so bad,
rhetoric?
the Chief Justice,
no.
Who rarely says anything publicly, immediately said this kind of language is dangerous as a mob tried to invade the Supreme Court. So if people want to hold President Trump accountable for language, there has to be a consistent standard.
Bullshit.
And to my mind, it's a partisan farce because they're not doing anything to Chuck Schumer.
Oh, my
not
God.
Doing anything to Representative Omar.
How
not doing
dare
anything to Maxine
you?
Waters.
We went through this again. Maxine Waters getting in the face of Republicans who are committing human rights violations and saying, I'm sorry, I'm not going to cook your dinner, is not the same as sending a mob to the Capitol to kill people and try to hang Mike Pence. You fucking fascist, lying lickspittle. You disgrace. You filthy disgrace. You liar. You filthy, disgusting enemy of the people. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm talking like that. It's inflammatory. No, it's the truth. You're a liar. You're conflating. Stick to your own. Look in the mirror, you freak. Maxine Waters didn't lie in 2016. She didn't say Trump is well, she did actually say Trump is not the president. He's unfit to be the president, but that's the truth. But she didn't say, let's take it over. We're losing our country. Let's everybody. I'm gonna walk to the Capitol with you. And plus, Maxine Waters is not the president. We were in a movement to stop the fascists from ripping babies from the arms of their parents and disappearing them. So, we were saying, when these fascists go taking a stroll, we're going to say, you stop ripping babies from the arms of their parents. You're going to put on the pressure. That's what you do in a civilized society. Now, I wonder if we went back to 1935, Germany, and the citizens of Germany, instead of cheering, for the Autobahn, they got in the faces of the Nazis and said, we're not going to stand for your shit. Maybe it would have been a little different. But now here comes the filthy fascist right-wingers. They never apologize for their answer. It's Maxine Waters' fault, right? It's Chuck Schumer's fault. It's Ilhan Omar's. Well, maybe you'd have a point if if Black Lives Matter invaded the Capitol. Or Antifa. I know you want to fantasize that was the case because you can't take responsibility for yourself. But we all know if that were the case, because we don't do shit like that. Because we're not stupid. Because we know if Black Lives Matter stormed the Capitol, they would still be cleaning up. They would have run out of body bags. We understand that. But this fucking Rand Paul, he's guaranteeing, as the rest of the Republicans are, they're guaranteeing there will be a second attempt. You get this? They haven't stand down. They haven't taken this as their wake-up call. They haven't hit bottom. When you're in recovery and you hit bottom, you're like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. This isn't working. This is unmanageable. If having a gang, a white supremacist gang of lunatics and violent racists, thugs, if having a bunch of kooks storm and plant bombs at the DNC and the RNC, that didn't wake them up. There's nothing that is going to wake them up. This is just, it's like, hold on, here's Tara Jr., everybody. Here he is. Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't like that. He's getting very cranky in his old age. But, it didn't wake them up. Remember when they sent pipe bombs to all different things, all different people, representatives, media outlets that Twitler was attacking? This is all in the steps to the insurrection. But that didn't wake them up because it wasn't them. They don't seem to care. Nothing is too low for the Republicans. That's why it will happen again. I'm telling you right now. Sometimes, I'm correct. I'm right. I've been right about them all along. And you know it. I know it. They haven't learned their lesson. They haven't done everything that they can do to talk the cult off the ledge. They've only inflamed and incited them more. They're continuing to lie. Twitler is continuing to call himself the president. They think that he's gonna be inaugurated on March 5th now. This is a cult. They're not done. The Republicans didn't see the light that night when they were like, I'm done. Lindsey Graham's like, I'm out. Peace out. He's changed his tune now. He's not going to vote to impeach this fucking con man, grifter, traitor. No. And trust me, if the coup was successful, these right-wingers, Rand Paul and the rest of them, would have gone along with it. They'd be like, well, he's the president, that's it.
It's just not fair. It's just partisan politics.
Not fair.
This is the case that the Democratic House managers will make before the Senate this next week. They will note that Mr. Trump tweeted his followers a number of tweets, but one of them to come to a big protest on January 6th. Be there, will be wild, he wrote. And then they will play videos of what happened that day, what he said, how they reacted. We made our own compilation of those, including some clips that are circulating on the internet. Take a look, Senator.
We fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Take the Capitol! Hit the Capitol!
Senator, you talk about other people who have said things, but you know, there had been weeks of misrepresentations about the election. Then he called people to come to Washington. Then he talks about fighting like hell. People in the crowd are talking about going to the Capitol, and then they demand to find Speaker Pelosi and to hang Mike Pence, the Vice President of the United States. Is that not incitement for insurrection?
I don't condone any of the language, and like I say, I opposed philosophically and voted against overturning the election. However, I think you're going to see the Trump defense play video of Maxine Waters telling crowds to mob Trump administration in restaurants and attack them.
Nobody said attack, bitch.
Cory Booker saying, get up in their face.
Yeah, so what? Get up in your fascist fucking faces. That's a bit different than Second Amendment remedies, you prick.
Congress people, you'll probably see comments from Representative Omar wishing and celebrating the violence that happened to me when I had 6 ribs broken.
Oh, you know what? She didn't wish and celebrate. She retweeted. Here's the story on that. She retweeted. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, okay. Tara Jr.'s sitting on the thing. Retweet. Rand Paul. Oh my God. All she did, here's what happened. Rand Paul was attacked by his neighbor. And then, but this, here, I gotta put the cat down. I'm sorry. You're sitting on the keyboard. It's hard to do a show with a cat on a keyboard. What can I say? Oh my God. I mean, why do I need a producer. I do. To get me the articles. But you can all, oh, look at that. Thank you, Lori, for your super chat in the meantime. I appreciate that. Then that wins the super chat challenge tonight. That's for sure. For the biggest super chat of the evening. Thank you, Lori. Elon Omar. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I'm so annoying, I know. Omar Rand. I have the articles and then they all disappear. All right. I'm trying to find this one. Oh, okay. So, what happened? Senator Rand Paul's team have responded after Ilhan Omar shared a post celebrating the violence against Paul. She didn't celebrate. Well, it was Tom, what's his name? Arnold wrote. He tweeted, imagine being Rand Paul's next door neighbor and having to deal with Rand Paul's lying, cowardly, circular, whiny, bull crap about lawn clippings. No wonder he ripped his toupee off. And she retweeted it. This was after, of course, you know, Republican. Being a Republican means never having to say you're sorry. This was after Rand Paul had been attacking Ilhan Omar again and again. And he writes, here's what he said about Omar. He said she was ungrateful for what America has given her. I've met people who've come here from behind the Iron Curtain. They got away from communism, and they're the best Americans we have because they really appreciate how great our country is. And then I hear Representative Omar say America is a terrible place. She never fucking said that, you piece of waste. So you're not supposed to... what are you doing in Congress then? If America's perfect, what the fuck are you doing there? You think it's not a great place. You're complaining all the time. You're whining. And if it's... You're here and you got to be a doctor. You made your gave yourself a fake-ass doctorate. And you've been sucking on the government teat your whole life. Isn't it great? Why are you complaining all the time? Trying to change America to be more like all of the oligarchies and the autocracies you worship. It's the same thing, but he's a white man, right? Well, he writes, he says on Breitbart, well, she came here and we fed her. We clothed her. She got welfare. How dare you? She got welfare? She got schooling. She got health care. Really? Oh my God. She was a welfare queen? Is that your point? You son of a bitch. She got welfare? The fuck does he know about her life? He's not fit. This is a white, whiny little bitch who has lived on the government dole. He was sucked on the government teat his whole life. He's never added a single thing to the government or this country. All he's done is divide and conquer. Spread his whiny white little lies. Complaining about the country. The nation of immigrants that he hates. What's wrong with the nation of immigrants? What's wrong? The founding fathers understood this needed to be a nation of immigrants. They put it in their charges against the king, that he was limiting immigration. So what's wrong with you, Rand Paul? Why don't you like immigration? Why do you complain when America has given you everything, including a purpose, that you got to sit on television and whine and whine and whine about how everybody is mean to a con man? All he wants to do is violently overthrow the government. And nobody, it's just not fair. We fed her, we clothed her, she got welfare. And there's nobody who's a bigger welfare queen than you, Rand Paul. Your whole life sucking on the government teat. We pay for your health care. Oh, you got a nice cushy job. Show me somewhere where you've actually added to the country. Done something for somebody else who wasn't you. Filthy lies. And you don't even have the courage to stand up to a con man. She got welfare. You're the big welfare queen here. You're the one who we fed and clothed. She got health care. You got health care. And then, lo and behold, she has the honor of winning a seat in Congress. Well, because her constituents voted for her. Unlike in Kentucky, where is Kentucky on the scale? Where's the Kentucky on the scale of health in this country? It's at the bottom, I know that. Why don't you worry about all your constituents? Kentucky is ranked as the least healthy state in the nation. Look at that. According to a 2019 report from the United Health Foundation, the study ranked, not the least, number 43 out of 50 states, using 5 categories: behaviors, community environment, public and health policies, clinical care, and health outcomes. Let's see where Kentucky is on the opioid. How many people die in Kentucky with opioids? I'm sure it's off the chart. Because everybody's depressed there. They have Rand Paul as a senator. Ugh. Look at this. Kentucky opioid-involved deaths. This is in 2017, 63,367 drug overdoses in 2018. That's a lot of damn dead. How many people are in Kentucky? I mean, that's a lot of dead people from opioids. No, oh my God. Kentucky drug overdose deaths involving. Where is this? Oh no, in the U.S. I'm sorry, not in. That would be crazy. That's what I thought. In the whole U.S. Why not in Kentucky? I can't find the Kentucky. Well, why don't you do something about your being 43 out of 50 states that have the least healthy states in the nation? What about the schools? Kentucky schools finished 36 overall on the national report. Kentucky schools drew a below average ranking, according to a national report. Look at that. Below average. What do you think? What about poverty? Well, holy shit. Kentucky is 46 out of 50. Man, you're low. And next is Arkansas, West Virginia, and Louisiana. Well, how am I not surprised? It's all these red states. Kentucky is also the worst state in the nation to retire. Kentucky ranks 48th in healthcare, 46 in quality of life. That helped it drag it to the bottom of the list. Wow, Franklin is the poorest town in Kentucky. Unreal. The town has a median income of $30,000 and a poverty rate of 26%. That's a big poverty rate. Is Kentucky? Yeah, this Kentucky just kind of sucks in a lot of ways. Near the best, Ohio and Kentucky are lagging in the ranking of best states to live. Lagging. I think it's pretty bad. Let's see. Unreal. Though, it's not unreal. It's so typical. Oh, Ilhan Omar. She's bad. She got all these things. And it's just blatant ass racism. That's all. We fed her. Oh, yeah? What about you? What do you know about Ilhan Omar's life? You wouldn't know. You were born into wealth. Your father was on the government dole. You were born into it. Sucking, your whole family sucking on the government teat. Sitting up there in your ivory tower, having everything handed to you while you work to make Kentucky one of the worst states to live and retire. Well, who wants to live or retire in Kentucky? Nobody. You should be ashamed. Why don't you worry about your abhorrent, appalling statistics in your state? And so then when Ilhan Omar retweeted a comedian's tweets, because you know how Trump and the right-wingers are. Remember when the right-wingers were like, I think Trump is owned by Russia? And they had a tape of it. The Washington Post had a tape, and then the Republicans lied, and they said, well, he never said that. And then when they found out that they had a tape, they were like, oh, we're just kidding. We were making a joke. Yes. Right? You know what cut-ups these Republicans are. Well, she retweeted a comedian. Maybe she was up to her forehead with your right-wing racist rants against her all over, putting her life in danger constantly, going on every right-wing propaganda outlet and tickling those racist funny bones until there's no tomorrow. There's no breath left in your lungs to do anything else. You couldn't muster any of the same energy to help your constituents not die needlessly, right? You couldn't come up with the same kind of energy to fight for Kentucky, to make Kentucky not suck, not the lowest ranking, the least, what is it, the lowest 5 states. You're the worst. The worst place to live, the worst place to retire. Horrible health care, worst outcomes, poverty through the roof. You should be ashamed. Well, stop picking on Ilhan Omar, but you're getting a lot of bang for your buck because a lot of your dumbass constituents, your toothless ass, no health care, no mental health care, that's for sure, constituents, they like hearing it. They like hearing you tickle those racist funny bones because it makes them feel like maybe their life doesn't suck as much as it actually does because they can kick down on somebody with darker pigment. You know, she got a funny name. She wears funny outfits, right? It's not, they don't have to, it doesn't make them comfortable to try to see somebody different because that might mean they might have to read a book or something and learn. They might have to see a different worldview, and that's just too much work. It's so offensive. She came here and we fed her. You fucking prick. So maybe she was just done with you. So she retweeted a comedian. So it wasn't her. After all, that's the way the Republicans are. They can be ugly, disgusting. They could be racist. They could be incessantly calling for those dog whistles, calling for violence. They could make your life a living hell. Ilhan Omar is a credit to this country. She is the pride of this country. Where we are a nation of immigrants, someone comes here and wants to serve their freaking community. Imagine that, Rand Paul. You should try it sometime. And instead of patting her on the back and saying, good for you, congratulations, how can we work together? Rand Paul is out there in all of his racist right-wing media outlet propaganda channels praising the dumb Fuhrer, spreading the big lie, and sowing racist hatred against a member of Congress, ensuring that the divide and conquer dupes who vote for him and get their racist energy up to storm the Capitol and murder people and take a shit in the hall, get their energy and get their inspiration from him. Because he would never add anything decent to the conversation. He would never say, good for you, and he's got to be pour the fuel on the fire, pour the ignorance into the ignorant, empty skulls of the people who actually vote for him. We came here. She came here. We fed her. She has the honor of actually winning a seat in Congress. Could you? I don't even want to hear him say this because his annoying voice, but I'm hearing it in my head. She had the honor of actually winning. His irritating white boy, white privileged, racist ass, friggin' ignorant droll. And she says we're a terrible country. When did she say that? She says, like I say, and, I guess I can say it because I'm white. And it was only my grandmother that came here, right? Like your fucking ancestry. Sure. Like Twitler's mother. His mother was a friggin' immigrant. These people make me sick. Well, you're saying we're a terrible country too, aren't you? So now, that's all he does is endanger the lives of people who are actually making a difference. Rand Paul isn't fit to kiss Ilhan Omar's feet. He's not, and he knows it. That's the bottom line. He could never walk a mile in her shoes. He had everything handed to him. He sucked on the government's teat his whole life, being a big, whiny white boy. Well-fed, well-groomed, well-padded white boy whiner. And what has he done? Nothing. He's got nothing to show for it. And neither do the people who sent him to Washington. They should be ashamed if they could ever get out of the meth lab. Jesus. She came here, we fed her. I think that's about as ungrateful as it gets. Well, what the fuck is she supposed to do? Oh, I ran for Congress. Everything's perfect. It's not perfect. Guess what, bitch? We can't save $400. We don't have health care. We are the least upwardly mobile. 400,000 people are dying and counting. Well over that now. The sickness is spreading and the mental illness is even worse. Death by despairs through the roof thanks to you Republican monsters. So then he said, I'm willing to contribute to buy her a ticket to visit Somalia, and she can look and maybe learn a little bit about the disaster that is Somalia. After she came back, she might appreciate America more. This is what Rand Paul said. So he can go on and sow all kinds of hate and violence and ignorance and racism against a member of Congress, but she's not supposed to have any reaction, right? Because that's what it means to be a Republican, especially a white boy Republican. Never being responsible, never having to say you're sorry. You're perfect. It's perfect for him. Yeah, sure. Oh. God, I hate them. It's vile. They are just vile. And we ain't seen nothing yet. Tomorrow. It's gonna be a real shit show. And we'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll get together tomorrow. And go over the first day of the impeachment. I think that will be a good idea. And then we'll go and we'll refute whatever bullshit. I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? Like baby bullshit they play. We're going to hear Ilhan Omar say whatever bullshit they got. We're going to hear Nancy Pelosi. They're blaming everybody but themselves. We will hear Maxine Waters. We're going to hear Cory Booker say fight. They're such tedious, whiny bitches. There's no escaping the fact that they incited violence, they incited an insurrection, and they will not take responsibility for it. So it will happen again. So it is the duty of every normal patriot, every progressive, every Democrat, every normal American, I know I repeat myself, everyone capable of functioning in a free democratic society, a diverse society. It is our duty to stand up and fight and ensure, legally and peacefully through the democratic process that these right-wing scums never get enough power again, that they remain the minority party that they are meant to be. And it is up to us to push the Democrats while they have power and make sure that they continue to have enough power to fix this country and shore up the holes and ensure that another fascist coup never happens again. That these right-wing freaks are nothing but a gnat in your rearview mirror as we're moving forward to make a more perfect union that works for all, a democracy that functions, that leaves no one behind, where people can live and have a decent health care, decent life, and retire. That's not too much to ask. That's the American dream right there. All right, guys. I'm gonna go. Remember, become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. I almost forgot the last part. Share the show with your friends. Thank you all for your super chats tonight. That also helps. It really does. Keep the show going, and more importantly, keep the show growing, because we will win. You know it. It's the truth. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy, and we will win. We will leave no one behind. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much, and I'll see you very soon.